What's good, YouTube? It's Zach, and today we got NFL Week 8 reactions. Hope everyone's having an amazing day so far. NFL Week 8 had a whole lot of ups and downs, and well, if you're a Minnesota Vikings fan, we're about to get right into that in the very first game. It makes me a little bit emotional. Anyways, let's take a look at Week 8. Starting things off, we had my Minnesota Vikings get absolutely mollywopped by the Los Angeles Chargers of a score of 37-10. Carson Wentz, please just go take a seat. Even Max Brosmer looked okay and better than you in very limited action. 3 of 4 for 13 yards for the guy. But this is just turned into, please let J.J. McCarthy get healthy so we can properly evaluate him. And then as for the Chargers, I mean, props to you guys for exposing a very bad Brian Flores defense. Justin Herbert going 18-25 for 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. Kamani Vidal looked back into peak form, 23 carries and 117 yards. Herbert even added 62 yards on the ground himself. I noticed that Quentin Johnson didn't even get a target in this game. Don't know what that is all about. Please look into him for gambling. And then Minnesota was led by Justin Jefferson and a bunch of little contributions from the rest of the team here. Vikings, it's officially time to sell us making the playoff stock. And the Chargers, good bounce back win. Up next, we had the Miami Dolphins just absolutely destroying the Atlanta Falcons of a score of 34-10. Tua Tagovailoa going 20 of 26 for 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, a very rare no interception game. Zach Wilson even came in and completed a pass for 0 yards, I guess. Devon Achane went 18 for 67. Ollie Gordon had 10 for 46. I mean, here's the people that all got touchdowns in this game in Miami. Jalen Waddle, Malik Washington, Devon Achane, and Ollie Gordon, both running backs getting receiving touchdown. That's kind of diabolical. We had the Minnesota Vikings quarterback, very owned, that was in English, Kirk Cousins, going 21 of 31, really looking like a statue out there. Bijan Robinson only having 9 carries for 25 yards. Not sure why you're only getting 9 carries. Yes, you're getting blown out, but you're Bijan Robinson, Kirk. Give him the ball. Receiving was led by Kyle Pitts, 9 catches for 59 yards. Dolphins, you guys let Mike McDaniel get another week of coaching for some reason. And then the Falcons, it is officially panic mode, and it might be time to sell the team. Up next, we had the New York Jets. Yes, the New York Jets getting their first win of the season. It's almost the end of October, by the way. Against the Cincinnati Bengals. Justin Fields out there actually throwing the football, not for negative passing yards, like the Denver Broncos game. Went 21-32 for 244 and a score. And you have QB2, Breece Hall, coming in, throwing a 4-yard touchdown himself. And then on the ground, Breece Hall, welcome to the NFL season. Thank you for showing up on my fantasy team, going 18 carries for 133 yards and 2 scores. The Jets receivers, Tyler Johnson, I think Mason Taylor was the one that caught the touchdown from Breece Hall. And then Joe Flacco. I mean, he did as good as the Joe Flacco game as you expected. 21 of 34, 223, and 2 scores. Samaje Perine having a rushing touchdown alongside Chase Brown. And yes, Joe Flacco gets a rushing touchdown on the day. And then Jamar Chase leading the way with 12 catches, 91 yards, an absolute PPR demon. T. Higgins' only catch was a 44-yard strike down the right sideline, and then Chase Brown added another touchdown through the air. The Jets, you guys are still getting the number 1 pick. Don't get it twisted. And then the Bengals, with the week where the Steelers lost, they could have been within 1 game of the division. But, I mean, they think there's still 1 game of the division if the Steelers are 4-3. I'm not sure how the math works there. But Bengals, very disgusting loss. You should be ashamed of yourself. Up next, we had a game that came to absolute no surprise. We had the Cleveland Browns getting waxed by the New England Patriots. Dylan Gabriel, it was already confirmed by Kevin Stefanski that after the bye that he would still be the starter, going 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, 21-35 for a $156. Rushing was led by Malachi Corley with a 31-yard carry. I believe that was like a wide receiver jet sweep play. Quinshon Judkins was neutralized relatively quickly and then couldn't run the ball because they were down by 700 points. And then receiving, Harold Fannin Jr., who I benched for Dalton Kincaid at the last second in fantasy. I still ended up winning, but shout out to you, going 6 catches for 62 yards and a score. David Njoku getting the other score on National Tight End Day. At least the Browns participated in something. And then the Patriots, Drake May, finally looking human out there, throwing an interception. And he got sacked 6 times by, guess what? 5 of them went to, where is this guy? Where is this guy at right here? Yes, Myles Garrett. 5 sacks on the day. They still lost by 20. 5 sacks for Myles Garrett. absolutely diabolical. The Patriots got back to fumbling the football, just some normal Patriots things. And then Travion Henderson, welcome to the party, going 10 carries to 75 yards. Ramondre Stevenson couldn't really get it going 14 for 34, but Drake May added 7 carries for 50 yards of his own. Receiving was led by Matt Collins, Kayshon Boutte, and then Stephon Diggs finally got his first touchdown of the season. The Patriots are looking like one of the best teams in the NFL right now. Browns still have to sell the team. Might be time to relocate. Sell the team. Up next, we had the New York Giants taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. The Giants. It's a very tough scene. Everyone, please throw up some prayers for Cam Scatterboo. If you didn't see the injury, it is very graphic, so viewer discretion is advised, but his ankle was turned like a whole 45 degrees to the right. And then Tyrone Tracy couldn't make up the lack of Cam Scatterboo. Jackson Dart looked okay. 24, 193 yards, and a score. Got sacked 5 times. Jalen Hurts didn't really do a whole lot yard-wise, going 15-20 for $179, but did have 4 passing touchdowns on the day. Saquon Barkley, 14 for 150 yards and a score, and he also had 1 through the air. Dallas Goedert had 2 on National Tight End Day, and then Jahan Dotson also had a score. Devontae Smith leading with 6 catches and 84 yards. Eagles, way to not get swept by the Giants. It would have been kind of funny if you did, but good job for the Eagles. And then the Giants, just keep evaluating your young talent, and I mean, the defensive line is looking pretty promising. Geez, it stinks in here. Up next, we had the Buffalo Bills destroy the Carolina Panthers with a score of 40-90. Josh Allen literally had to do absolutely nothing at all, going 12 of 19 for $163 and only 1 passing touchdown. Even Mitchell Kissintitties came in for 2 of 4 and 22 yards. James Cook, give him the MVP. Give him the MVP right now. 19 of 216 and 2 scores, along with a 64-yard barn burner. And then Josh Allen added 2 rushing touchdowns because he's Josh Allen. The 1 receiving touchdown went to Khalil Shakir. Of course, my tight end didn't get anything on National Tight End Day. File a lawsuit, please and thank you. And then for the Carolina Panthers, Andy Dalton is proving that he is not Bryce Young, going 16-24 and an interception. Rico Dowdle went 8 for 54, averaging 6.8 yards a carry. Why is Chuba Hubbard getting more carries than Mr. Rico Dowdle? I have no idea. And then through the air, Torrey McMillan ruined a whole lot of parlays, going 7 catches for 99 yards. But Andy Dalton lost 2 fumbles in this game. Absolutely diabolical. The Bills, welcome back to my top 5 in power rankings. Most likely, Carolina Panthers try to shake it off, and hopefully Bryce Young comes back healthier than ever. Up next, we had probably our upset of the week, the Chicago Bears losing by 2 touchdowns to the Lamar Jackson-less Baltimore Ravens. And the Ravens desperately needed this win. It keeps their playoff odds in order. Hopefully Lamar Jackson's able to come back next week and prove that he can still play some MVP level football. Tyler Huntley went 17-22 for 186 yards and a score. Derrick Henry did his best Derrick Henry impression, having 21 carries of 71 yards and 2 scores. Receiving was led by Zay Flowers, 7 for 63. And then Carly Kohler, I think that's the backup tight end, ended up getting a score on, you guessed it, National Tight End Day. Wasn't the Mark Andrews or Isaiah Likely. It's kind of tough. And then for the Bears, 25 of 38 for 285, no touchdowns and 1 interception for Mr. Caleb Williams. DeAndre Swift, I believe, had their only offensive touchdown on the day. Went 11 for 45. Kyle Munagi, I had a little bit of stock in him. It started to go down a little bit. I still don't like DeAndre Swift as your starting back. But my guy, Roma Dunze, leading the way, 7 catches for 114 yards. Hopefully the Bears are able to shake this off. I mean, the NFC wildcard is pretty much wide open right now. There's a lot of mid-football being played. Hopefully they can bounce back. Ravens, you guys survived another week. Hopefully Lamar plays on Thursday. A very, very interesting game here where Mr. Mac Jones and the San Francisco 49ers lost to the Houston Texans by 11. I thought it was going to be a little bit closer than that. Mac Jones, 19 of 32 for $193, 2 scores and 1 interception. Christian McCaffrey had 8 carries for 25 yards. Not even another running back got a carry. That's kind of diabolical. CJ Stroud going 30 of 39 for 318 yards, 2 scores, 1 interception. Way to come back to the league. I mean, it's kind of an asterisk on it because there's no Nick Bosa or Fred Warner. The running game went 11 carries, 62 yards from Woody Marks, and then Nick Chubb had 17 carries for 56 yards of his own. Receiving was led by Xavier Hutchinson, 5 receptions for 69 yards and a score. Jaden Higgins with the other score in this one. And then for the 49ers, do I even need to say it? George Kittle with a receiving touchdown. Jake Tunges for another touchdown. And let's just quickly scroll down. On National Tight End Day, had to say it. You have to say it, man. Always on National Tight End Day. I was trying to see time of possession because I'm pretty sure the first half, the 49ers only had the ball for like 4 minutes. I think it's only going to tell me like for the entire game. Yeah, so yeah, and even in the entire game. 41 of 60 minutes going to the Houston Texans. Absolutely dominated time of possession in this one. And 49ers, hopefully guys will be able to get a little bit more healthier as the season progresses. Texans trying to make their way back into the AFC wildcard picture. Up next, we had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers almost shut out the Saints 23-3. Baker Mayfield had to do little to nothing to win this game, 15-24 for a $152. The running game led by Sean Tucker, 12 carries for 42 yards and a score. Rashad White really disappointed me, going 13-35. I believe he got stuffed 3 times in a row on the 1-yard line for a touchdown. That's kind of tough. And then receiving was led by Tez Johnson, 5 catches for 43 yards. Emeka Egbuka, 3 catches, 35 yards of his own. Again, they didn't have to really do too much. They're the New Orleans Saints after all. He had Spencer Rattler, 15-21 for a $136 and a pick, who he ended up getting benched for Tyler Schlock, who put up almost identical numbers, almost down to the sack and everything. Both of them were really bad. Alvin Kamara, 6 carries for 21 yards of his own. And then Rashid Shaheed led the way in receiving, 9 catches for 75 yards. Olave, 8 catches for 63 yards. Spencer Rattler had a fumble in this one. Rashid Shaheed had a fumble. Chase Young recovered a fumble. And yeah, just a lot of sloppy football to be played around here. Buccaneers still looking like to go toward their 5th NFC South title in a row. Saints trying to compete with the Jets for the #1 overall pick. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Yeah, the Denver Broncos absolutely blow out the Dallas Cowboys of a score of 44-24. I did pick the Broncos to win this game in my Pick'em League, but I had no idea that it would be by this margin. Bo Nix going 19-29 and 4 passing touchdowns in this one. J.K. Dobbins led the way in rushing for 15 carries and 111 yards, but shout out to rookie R.J. Harvey going 7 carries of 46 yards and 2 scores of his own. I think he had 1 in the air. Yes, he also had 1 in the air. So 3 touchdowns on the day from Mr. R.J. Harvey. Troy Franklin had 6 catches, 89 yards, and 2 scores of his own. Pat Bryant going 2 catches for 40 yards and a score of his own. Then for the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott came back into form here, 19-31, $188 and 2 interceptions. Might have a quarterback controversy as Joe Milton III came in 3 for 58 yards and a score. Javonte Williams got pretty neutralized in this game, had 2 rushing touchdowns, so that definitely helps his stat line. And then the receiving was kind of a dual effort between George Pickens, 7 catches for 78 yards, and then CeeDee Lamb, 7 catches for 74 yards. No national tight end day for Jake Ferguson, who actually got kind of shut out in this one. That's a tough scene all around. But the Broncos moved to 6-2, the top of the AFC West. The Chiefs are going to be coming up on their doorstep relatively quickly. And then the Cowboys try to get a little bit more healthier and learn what a defense is. Up next, we had our easy pick'em of the week where the Indianapolis Colts absolutely demolished the Tennessee Titans of a score of 38-14. Daniel Jones, 21-29, just refusing to throw an incomplete pass out there for 272 and 3 scores. Jonathan Taylor, if there was ever going to be a year where a quarterback did not win MVP, it's Jonathan Taylor. 12 carries, 153 yards, and 2 scores through the air. He had 2 catches for 21 yards and another receiving touchdown. That's his 4th game of the season with 3 touchdowns. Can't stop him, won't stop him. You had Michael Pittman Jr. ruining some parlays, going 8 catches for 95 yards and a score. Josh Downs, 3 catches and 39 yards for the other score. The Tennessee Titans, 22 of 38 for Cam Ward, got sacked another 4 times. Not looking good. He had 1 touchdown, 1 pick in this game. Tajay Spears looked pretty solid. 9 carries for 59 yards and a score. Tony Pollard looking like Tony Pollard. 11 carries for 44 yards. And then Shamiri Dyke also ruining some parlays. 7 catches on 93 yards. And then Gunnar Helm with the only score, you guessed it, based off of this number, on National Tight End Day. So yes, the Colts are continuing to lead the AFC. The Tennessee Titans are right there with the Jets and the Saints. It might be time to sell the team right now. And finally, on Sunday Night Football, we had the Green Bay Packers start rallying back to defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jordan Love, round of applause to Mr. Jordan Love. Maybe his best game of his career. 29-37 for 360 and 3 touchdowns, 0 sacks on the day against the defense that has TJ Watt. That's pretty impressive stuff right there. He had Emmanuel Wilson actually lead the way in rushing, 11 carries for 61 yards. Josh Jacobs was bottled up pretty good in this one, but ended up having a rushing touchdown. Then you had Tucker Kraft on National Tight End Day night. 7 catches for 143 yards and 2 scores. And then Savion Williams, based off of this number, looks like a tight end. Had the other receiving touchdown in this one. Then the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers looked pretty solid in the first half, and then there was a whole lot of Chris Boswell in there, going 24-36 for 219 and 2 scores. Jalen Warren led the way in rushing, and then Roman Wilson, 4 catches and 74 yards. You had Metcalf and him get the touchdowns in that one. The Packers, 5-1-1, looking like they're going to actually win the Super Bowl with all their Hall of Fame quarterbacks at the age of 27. Hopefully, it's his only one. And then the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers couldn't get his revenge, and he still has to defeat one more team to beat all 32 teams in NFL history, but if this is his last season, the only way that's going to happen is if they make the Super Bowl and beat the Packers. And that's all I have for you today. If you guys did enjoy, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Turn on post notifications. We got NFL Power Rankings coming out tomorrow, and let me know what you think about your team in this previous week. Are you guys in a really happy mood, or are you guys pretty butthurt? But other than that, it's been Zach. I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.